Y'all clean as whistle. Only thing that's hurting you is I got to take it from you.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a crazy story coming out of Metro Atlanta, Georgia, in which a man bought a vehicle from a dealership legally, made all his payments, did everything right, but the police came and repossessed the car because it popped back stolen. And then when he went back to the dealership saying, hey, man, they didn't took my car. You sold me a stolen car. I made all my payments. What's going on? They were not trying to give the man his money back. Now, before I get into it, let's go ahead and roll the clip. If you want to see it in full without my commentary, link, as always, will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio. Go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
A Metro Atlanta man found out he'd been driving for months in a stolen car only when police pulled into his driveway. The thing is, he legit bought the car at a local dealership.
He sure did. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Grace here. And Justin, he had the proper registration and the tags from the state.
Yeah, Karen, this recent college graduate did everything right, but still ended up with police at his home, his car taken away, and out thousands of dollars.
The car you driving there, where'd you get that car at? You got all your paperwork.
This is police body cam footage of the moment a Newton County Sheriff's deputy pulled into Demetrius Howard's driveway.
The car was right here.
That car stolen out of Ohio.
Honestly, I got scared when he said that because then it was like, does he think I stole it?
Howard had purchased this Audi A6 7 months earlier from Evolution Cars in Conyers.
I've been paying my payments since I've had the car.
He's not got anything to do with you. You're not in trouble, I promise you.
By this point, Howard's mother showed up. Sure, this was just a misunderstanding that showing the paperwork would solve it.
I showed him the date of purchase. I showed him, the tag.
Y'all clean as whistle. Only thing that's hurting you is I got to take it from you.
Let's pause right quick. Shout out to the deputy. Good old country southern boy. Some of y'all might not be able to understand what he's saying. I understood what he said perfectly well. He was like, hey, y'all are clean as a whistle, but I got to take it from you. I got to take the car from you because the car is stolen. You didn't steal it. You bought it legally, but it's stolen. So I have to take the car from you. That's what's going on here. It's crazy. And imagine getting told that. Imagine you go to a dealership, buy a car, you have all your documents, making all your payments, and you get repossessed by the police. They show up to your front door. You're afraid. You don't know what's going on. This is a mess. Big mess. But the story continues.
I just didn't even know how to process what they were saying.
A tow truck came and took the car. Police say it was reported stolen in March 2022 from a car dealership in Ohio before Howard ever purchased it in May. But it never showed up as stolen at the dealer or the Georgia Department of Driver Services.
It's not kicking on the system as stolen, but the vehicle is reported stolen.
You were driving around in a stolen vehicle.
For months. Yes, sir.
It's scary because had he been on the streets or somewhere else, he would have automatically been deemed the person that, stole the car.
That's very dangerous because what happens if you're driving around, let's say you downtown, midtown, Atlanta, you're in the city, and then police are behind you. They run your plate. They run the VIN. If they can run the VIN, oh, that's a stolen car right there. Let's pull them over right now with the guns drawn. Now, would that have happened? I'm not really sure, but it could have. It most certainly could have, because what if it was a stolen car? What if it was just stolen from Atlanta and then the police see you in it? I mean, that's very dangerous.
The problem for Demetrius Howard, neither the car dealership or the finance company would do anything about it. They say Evolution Cars repeatedly refused to give his money back.
It wasn't their problem. That's what they said. They're like, I guess you should get a lawyer.
This company right here is going to have to give you all your money back.
Even the sheriff's deputy thought Evolution Cars should have to make this right. So we went to ask them. You walked off with all the money. The customer, though, is the one with all the problems.
Well, I understand how you're portraying it that way. I see what you're trying to say.
Evolution manager Luis Diaz told me they did what the law requires.
We did a deal. We did everything with due diligence with the state of Georgia, what they require from us to do to verify that this vehicle is not stolen.
Let's pause for a minute. Now, shout out to Luis. Luis might be, well, he's telling the truth, I think, about, hey, we did everything right. We made sure the vehicle wasn't stolen. We ran the VIN. It didn't pop back stolen. We sold the car. had all the paperwork together. We did everything we're supposed to do legally. But see, that does not mean that you're not responsible, because ultimately the customer bought the vehicle from you and you guys should give him the money back. Like, if the car gets taken away by police, he did everything right. It's not his fault he bought the stolen car. Ultimately, it's your responsibility. Some things happen that are beyond your control, but you still got to take care of. Just like if you have an Amazon store and you sell something that arrives broken, or it didn't show up as lost or something like that, whatever the case may be, at a certain point, you're responsible, even if it wasn't really your fault. It's still your company. It's still your brand. It's still your situation. You got to be responsible for that. You're going to take an L, but that's just business. Live with it.
To do to verify that this vehicle is not stolen.
We're being treated like we're the ones who stole the car.
We have to go through our own process and procedures within the state guidelines. If we don't do nothing wrong,
The state's not going to say you can't give a customer his money back.
Right.
Again.
Nah. You got you on that one. The state don't say you can't get the money back. You can get the money back. You most certainly can. That's just out of your pocket. You're taking the L. Which you, like, all he wanted to do right here was just be like, yo, it's not our problem. We follow the law. I ain't giving no money back. See, now we got the news involved. Now we got a lot of eyes on your place. So in order for you to just get beyond this, you got to do the right thing and give the money back. It's not even about a shakedown from the guy that bought the vehicle, because why should he be responsible? He did everything right. He went and bought the car, paid his money, made his payments, and you guys basically saying, you know, go F yourself. And that's not right.
You're trying to portray it for me to have an answer on a question that you want to hear.
It's a question that matters an awful lot to Demetrius Howard, a new college graduate, carless for his daily work commute from Newton County into Atlanta for months now.
Wow.
And continuing to get threatening letters from the finance company.
The last one I got was last month, basically saying that I still owe monthly payments and saying that if I don't pay it, like, the car is basically up for repossession, which I don't have the car, but it's still reported to my credit as if I do.
Some good news here. It's the finance company, Wells Fargo, who has finally stepped forward to make this right. Demetrius does not have the money back yet, but has come to an agreement with Wells Fargo where they say they will pay him back and, importantly, also get this taken off his credit report. Wells Fargo telling us in a statement, quote, "We were disappointed to hear about this unfortunate situation and are pleased to have been able to work with our customer on a resolution to make them financially whole in this matter."
Okay, so Justin, the dealership here, not financially responsible for any of this.
Well, some big new news on that, George. Just in the past few days, Demetrius's mother called us on Friday, told us they took the dealership to court where a judge ordered them to pay the family $4,500.
I think what hits me the most is it could have gone a lot differently.
Could have gone so much worse. A really calm young man and a really calm and respectful police officer.
I love it.
So, yeah, shout out to the officer. Shout out to the deputy. Good old country boy. And shout out to the young man, the young college graduate. They both handle everything well. When the officer shows up, the guy's not belligerent, acting the fool, acting crazy. The officer's understanding and patient and not treating like a criminal right away. It was respect on both sides. That's the way you handle it. You know, I hear all the time, hey, ABL, when the officer is in your face, you're going to die. You're going to get killed by the police. Is that the case? Or is it that if you just act normally, like you got some sense, things go right 99.9999% of the time? That's what I think. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the mom and the young man for taking a dealership to court, because that's an open and shut case. You know, that's a Judge Joe Brown, Judge Judy type small claims court below $5,000. Like, look, I bought the car from you. The car got repossessed because it was stolen. Now it's up to you to pay me back. It's simple. So I don't know if the Wells Fargo decision came after the court decision or not, because here's how it looks in my head. You take Evolution Cars to court. The judge says you got to pay the $4,500. Evolution Cars may try to contact Wells Fargo, or Wells Fargo may want to get in front of it because they don't want to be tarnished, because they had their own problems. Remember the whole thing about ghetto loans and black discrimination? They don't want to have that on their back because of the video going viral, local news coverage, court action involved. they may want to get in front of it. So they may have ultimately been able to win money out of this, and they kind of deserve it because the guy was having the finance company hit his credit. He doesn't have a car to get to and from work. He was out of money. He probably put money down on the car. He doesn't have that money to go out and buy another car. And then his credit is impacted by the payments. So even if you have the down payment, your credit is impacted, which lowers your ability to get financed. So yeah, this whole thing's been a whole big mess. Shout out to the news out there for making the difference and for having this come to a happy resolution. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this case? Who's responsible? The dealership or the young man? I mean, if you guys answer anything else other than the dealership, I'd be surprised. And I'm not trying to say the dealership intentionally sold the stolen car. You can't even do that. If the VIN popped back stolen, you can't sell it. You can't, legally, it's not going to actually go through. For you to get your license plates, registration from the state, the VIN can't pop back stolen. So it was not in the system. But some reason it was in a different system. I'm not really sure. That seems like a kind of a ball drop from the state government, in my humble opinion. So it wasn't a dealership's fault, but ultimately they are responsible. Sometimes if you own a business, things happen that it's not your fault, but you still are responsible. That was the case here. Open and shut. It ain't too much else to it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.